Now, Charlie, this is all very jovial and hail fellow, well met. But when I met you earlier on in the incredibly detailed meeting that we do before these shows, you were wearing what can only be described as a scowl on your face. And it's the scowl of a football fan betrayed by the game itself.
I am furious about it, Danny. I watched that game last night, and it was a brilliant game of football, I thought.
Totally.
Really great game of football. High quality. The skill level on show was just excellent. Players seemed really up for it.
The crowd were madly
into it. Everything you want from football: the escape, the joy, the romance, the skill, the passion, the energy,
the jeopardy, everything about it.
All those things. And that VAR for 6 minutes, it just takes. It is not for the fans. Football is for the fans, and VAR is not for fans. I honestly don't think if I supported a team that had VAR that I could watch it anymore. I don't think I could. It is a thief of joy. It is the thief of love. It is the thief of, you and I are artistic beings, Danny, and beauty is in the mistake. The gold is in the cracks, and that is why we like football, because it is full of mistakes.
I mean, look, I fought as hard as anybody, including banging on the desk so hard once at talkSPORT. The producer came in. He thought that something had happened in the studio, demanding help for referees. But of course, I was wrong. I admit it openly, and mea culpa. It is in the process of destroying the game, and I now think, Charlie, that the referees, when they go over to the sideline, should be forced to don one of those large Victorian top hats and a veil, because they're actually overseeing a funeral for the game. And individual matches like last night, and the game in general. Put on your Undertaker's gear and go and do that. Do you know what?
You don't want. I don't care if it's the right out. I don't care if it's correct. The outcome. Fans in the kids watching it, 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds going to a game, they don't care. 55-year-old women who've supported the same team their whole life. I don't think people care if it's the correct outcome. They want to have a good time and lose themselves in football
I watched the FA Cup tie between Spurs and Villa. I was deliberately using myself as a guinea pig. There's no VAR at this stage of the FA Cup, and Spurs had a couple of goals disallowed for offside. They weren't contentious decisions, but I remember thinking, at least I'm not having to stop this whole game now. The lines person has bunged their flag up, the assistant referee, whatever they want to be called these days, bunged the flag up. We've all got on with the game. There wasn't a forensic, mathematical deconstruction of what, let's be fair, football is chaos. It doesn't lend itself to this kind of judgment.
You'll find a mistake in any build-up to any goal. You'll find something. If you look hard enough, you'll find something. It's like we watch a panto and they stop halfway through for Widow Twanky to do her tax. Okay, children, we're going to stop for 5 minutes and we're all going to watch Widow Twanky's going to do her tax accounts for 5 minutes.
Can I include stationery in this? Can I? And printer paper,
Train tickets, do they count? Oh, no, they don't. Oh, yes, they do, But
listen, people will accuse us now of banging on the same old drum. I make no apologies for that whatsoever. It cannot be altered, VAR. It cannot be improved. We've tried all that. Howard Webb was the leading authority on refereeing. He's been brought in. Nothing has changed. It needs to be abolished, root, branch, top to bottom. It needs to be done for start of next season. People will say that's impossible. Too much money has gone into it. Too much is at stake. Hang on.
Bad luck.
Nobody flies supersonic anymore. Where's Concorde? What are we doing this on? We're not doing it on Skype. Skype came and went. This stuff comes and goes. Money is invested in it, and then other things come along. To abolish the VAR. Abolish it now, and abolish it fully. Somebody who was in the ground for this, but has experienced the game from both on the pitch and on the terraces. And of course, he's an old great friend of talkSPORT, and we used to do a lot of work together in this slot back in the day. It's hello to Micky Quinn. How are you, Mick?
Hello, Mickey.
Hey, boys, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yes.
Really, really good. Mick, look, I really want to talk to you as somebody who was there as a fan, because you were in the seats at Newcastle yesterday. We'll get on to the game in a second, but talk to me about what was it like, experience what turned out to be nearly 5.5 minutes of waiting for an absolutely marginal decision to get made in the middle of what was a brilliant game of football.
Yeah, it was. The 5.5 minutes was on top, don't forget, of the goal celebration. So it was something like 6 or 7 minutes at the time. It does my head in, Danny, especially when, you know, the powers that be, or wherever they are, 200 miles away in a hot studio, cannot make a decision and take that length of time. Then they turn it over to the referee who's on the pitch to make the decision for them. It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. I think you've got to come to a decision now that even with the hundreds of millions of pounds spent on technology and grooming people to do this particular job, I just think you've got to scratch it. It's not working. It's blatantly not working. And the reason I'll say that now is because, refreshingly, I watched a few FA Cup ties the weekend. No VAR. Goal celebrations without the game stopping. Fans getting on board, enjoying a goal. Okay, there was one or two debatable offsides, but they weren't even argued by the players, which was so refreshing. And I just think they've got to scrap it now. We've tried. It's no good. No good.
And you're right, Mickey, to say that for all the money invested, as I say, you could say the same thing about Skype or Concord or a million other technologies. These things come and go. We've tried it. It has proven to be a failure. One thing I would say, though, very quickly on this, there's one rule they could change in the morning, and it would help everybody, and that is if you're offside in the 6-yard box, regardless of what else is going on in the game, that should be just flagged as offside. This thing where people are not interfering with the goalkeeper's line of vision. Of course they are. You're interfering with the positioning of the defenders. At the very least, if it's in a 6-yard box, I know then we'll have arguments about who's in and who's outside the 6-yard box. I don't understand. Just disallow it, because clearly you're interfering with play or attempting so to do.
Definitely agree with that. And I also agree, I think the offside rule itself now is a joke. We looked at the Verts offside, which was onside, which looked offside. And it does, to me, go back to the old rule where if you're level, and maybe you've got a hair at your nose that's offside, then you play on and it's a goal. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It takes the joy out of it. It takes that moment. It takes that moment of elation when the ball hits the net, because you have that moment of doubt. And football is to take away those feelings in our lives where we feel doubt and feel fear. It is to give us that moment.
From a man who scored 288 professional goals.
So many goals.
Let me tell you, boys, is that elation is no better feeling. There's no better feeling than that ball hitting the net, split-second silence, then boom, a volume of noise, celebrating with your mates. They're just taking all the enjoyment away from the beautiful game.
I mean, but Mickey, the difference is you were paid to score all those goals. It's the people who are paying to watch it that I really fret for.